Welcome to the feast, I unleash, I'm a motherfucking beast.
Alright guys, so as you saw in that last clip, my meal dealers arrived. I just wanted to go over quickly why I use a meal prep service if I'm meal prepping for myself, and I have videos showing you guys how to meal prep efficiently and cost effectively. For me, I just really like their food and it allows me to get a little bit more variety in my diet. So I do prep the same foods for myself every single week, and so when I want to spice it up or when I want to not have to cook for a meal, or I'm running low on food for the week and it's the end of the week, that's when it comes in handy to have a meal prep service. So that's why I really enjoy using meal dealers, and I don't eat like all the meals that I order in 1 week. I have maybe one meal every day, every other day, and I keep them in my freezer because they're good for 7 days, but just in case I keep them for longer, I keep them in my freezer so they stay fresh, and then whenever I want one like the next day or the day of, I just take it out to defrost, and then that's how I go about using my meal dealers. So I just want to let you guys know that's why I use a meal prep service on top of meal prepping for myself. Allows me to get a lot more variety in my diet, and it's definitely worth it. Shipping isn't ridiculous like a lot of other meal prep companies that ship nationally because it is a local business. So I highly recommend it. Don't forget, you can use my code Marissa for 10% off your entire meal dealers order if you live anywhere in DC, Maryland, or Virginia. So make sure to check them out, www.mealdealers.com. Let them know I sent you and enjoy your meals. Fueled by pancakes. What's up guys? So I'm at the parking lot at Fitness Evolution. It's Sarah's gym. My friend Fit and Healthy Sarah, this is her Instagram tag if you want to check out her page. But we are about to hit a leg workout. I know I just posted a leg workout literally this morning. It's Thursday, January 5th, but I figured I'm just going to try to get as much footage out for you guys as possible while I'm still on winter break. So you just saw I was eating rice cakes with peanut butter and Himalayan pink salt on top. That's my favorite pre-workout combo. And then this is PE Science whoa, it's so bright. PE Science High Volume and Alphamine together. Recently I've been using Alphamine just because it's helping me sweat a lot because it's a thermogenic. So I don't know, it's winter and I get cold and I really just want to sweat in my workouts, so that's been helping, and High Volume's always been a staple for me, so putting the two flavors together, I mean it's the same cotton candy flavor, so why not, instead of having to take a separate pre-workout. Oh, it just dripped on me. But anyways, Sarah's almost here, so I'm gonna go head on in and we're gonna get right into this workout. Alright guys, so we are doing another glute workout voiceover. So this is exactly the exercise that I was talking about in my last video, where the seat does not move, so it makes the exercise more effective. So these are my reverse abductor squeezes. So I'm like pressing my hips up against that seat, as you can see. Pretend like you're hip thrusting into that seat. So you should be pushing your pelvis into the seat as much as possible, keeping your knees in line with your hips and bringing your heels together nice and slowly. So here I'm not like clapping the pads together, I'm just slow and controlled and squeezing my glutes at the top of the movement or the back of the movement, whatever you want to call it, with every single rep. So here you can see the front view. I am holding onto the seat and pushing my hips into the seat as much as possible. I love starting off my workouts with activation exercises like this, super lightweight, just getting blood flow to the glutes so that they are better worked throughout the entire workout and firing the entire time, rather than starting with a compound and having my other muscle groups that are stronger take over first. So we superset those reverse abductor squeezes with a 3-pulse banded squat. So all that means is that you're going down, pulsing 3 times, coming up, squeezing the glutes. So we're using a blue band here. This is one of my higher resistance bands. And so the keys with this are that you want to be pushing your knees out as much as possible against the band as you come down and as you come up in order to engage the abductors in your glutes and get the most activation out of them. So here was the next superset. I actually kept this clip in because I want to show you guys that it's okay to look stupid at the gym. I promise. Even I struggle with machines, struggle with setting things up. Sure, it's embarrassing, but I mean, you'd rather have the equipment be fit to your height or whatever setting you need it to be after struggling for a little bit than just using it improperly. So here we have glute ham raises. Again, just like the last video, shoulders are caved forward, hands across the chest, and I am just squeezing my glutes to come up and I'm not extending my back. Here you can see my feet are turned outward slightly. So again, squeezing just the glutes. You can see my glutes squeezing when I get to the top, and you can see that my back is not doing any of the work because my shoulders are caved forward through the entirety of the movement. So also, that clip of me struggling with the equipment was very sped up. So I was there for a while. Like, it's okay to be embarrassed in the gym. So we moved on to banded walks superset with the glute ham raises here. So we're using Sarah's hip circle. So this is just a very, very, very strong resistance band. I can barely get my knees apart with this. So the keys with banded walks are that you want to push your knees apart as much as possible, less so your feet. So as long as you're pushing against that band with your knees and keeping a slight bend in the knee, you're gonna get a lot of really great glute activation there. Next up, we did our third superset, which was cable pull-throughs and cable kickbacks. So here you're seeing the cable pull-through. A great tip from my friend Alyssa. She said, pretend like you're on the hip abductor machine and that you're pushing your knees out when you come down into the bottom of that pull through when the cable is all the way behind you, and then keep pushing your knees out as you come up, and that's going to give you a lot more glute activation and less lower back activation in the movement. So here you can see I have the ugly granny butt squeeze at the top of every single pull through, guys. If you are not squeezing your ass like this at every single rep, then you are not getting the most out of your glute workouts, I promise. You will feel the most insane pump if you start doing this for every single workout that requires hip extension. So make sure you're getting that granny butt squeeze and you are pushing your knees apart, letting the cable come all the way back behind you, keeping your back straight and squeezing and pushing through the heels of your feet to come up. So we superset that, like I said, with cable kickbacks. So here you can see Sarah is doing cable kickbacks. She's leading the movement with her knee, as you can see, rather than with the heel of her foot. So we do these a little differently, but however you find that you get the best glute activation is the way you should be doing this exercise. So she is pushing still through the heel of her foot because you can see her foot is flexed, but she's leading more with the knee and keeping more of a bend in her knee in order to get the best glute activation for her bodily mechanics. And here you can see the difference is I have a straighter leg throughout the entire movement and I'm leading more with the heel of my foot. But I am focusing on bringing my knee up as high as possible to be parallel with my torso in order to get the best glute activation. And something that we have in common with our form is that at the top we are squeezing our glutes and keeping a slight bend in the standing foot. So that's cable glute kickbacks for you. Next superset, we did this plate loaded leg press, but you can see we're only doing a partial range of motion, only coming half of the way down. So it's just a glute press. That top half of the movement is where you're gonna get the most activation in your glutes. So we put the band right above our knees and pushed out against the band as much as possible to get our glutes involved as much as possible. I also turned my toes slightly outward for this as well. Sick angle. Sick angles, dude. YouTube, bro? Party at the end. I just pulled a Nick Lucas right there. Alright, so with that plate loaded glute press that you can see Sarah's doing in the back, we superset that with banded goblet squats. So yes, we're throwing the band in with everything because pushing your knees out against that band is going to make it twice as effective for your glutes. So here I'm holding a 40-pound dumbbell. Go as heavy as is comfortable for you. You shouldn't go so heavy that your upper back starts to cave forward. You need to keep your chest up and your back upright, as you can see I'm doing here. Otherwise the weight is too heavy. So again, pushing out as much as possible against that band, and that ugly squeeze at the top is going to get you the most glute activation and the most glute growth from this exercise. So I'm just holding everything steady, holding my core tight, coming down deep into that squat, pushing my knees out against the band, coming up, squeezing and pausing at the top to get the most out of that squeeze, and I'm doing 12 reps here. After this, we moved on to a superset of seated calf raises because never skip calves, guys. Seated calf raises with bench step-ups with dumbbells. So here, I touched on this in my last video. Make sure you're going all the way down, slow and controlled. Don't pull the machine up with your hands, that's cheating, and don't bounce. That doesn't do anything for your calves. So if you want your calves to grow, you need to do the full rep at a slower pace so that you get the full calf contraction. All right, and then so we superset that with dumbbell bench step-ups. Guys, this says 3 sets of 12 per leg because I fucking hate bench step-ups. I'm not good at them, and I want to show you guys how much I'm struggling with these bench step-ups. But when I looked over the footage, it didn't look like I was struggling as much as I thought I was. But honestly, when I'm doing them, it feels like the hardest thing in the world. I feel like I'm gonna fall and twist my ankle the entire time. I obviously know that's not gonna happen, but I feel very off balance. So I just want you guys to know that it's a hard exercise and it's a work in progress for me as well as it is probably for you as well. So don't beat up on yourself if you're not very good at these. I just have 22.5-pound dumbbells in each hand, and so cues for this are you want to, and see here I'm shaking out my hands because I can't even hold the dumbbells for that long in between legs. So we're doing 12 reps per leg. Keys here, push through the heel of your foot. Try not to touch the bench with your other foot like I just did twice in a row. And make sure to try to push up with just the upper leg that's on that bench so that you're activating that front leg glute. And come up, pause, and then control your way down. Come down slowly so that you stretch out the hamstring and glute as you come down to increase the time under tension for that movement. And just try your best to keep balanced. I think the dumbbells help more with balance because there's one weight on each side. And here I trip again. So again, practice, practice, practice. It's okay to not be good at something. And then we didn't do a superset for this exercise. We just did lying hamstring curls. I honestly just jumped onto the machine because I wanted to know if I could do lying hamstring curls with my back injury. Turns out I can, so I'm super excited about that. The lying hamstring curl and the seated hamstring curl both work the lower side of your hamstrings. So until I can do dumbbell or barbell Romanian deadlifts again, I will really only be working the lower part of my hamstrings because Romanian deadlifts are the ones that work the upper part of the hamstring. So 6th superset, we did seated hamstring curls on this awesome seated hamstring curl machine, superset with a calf extension machine. So cues for the lying hamstring curl, I know the clip is already passed, but you want to make sure you're squeezing your glutes together so that your lower back doesn't come up and your lower back doesn't stretch, and to control the movement by squeezing at the top and coming down slowly. So I'm doing that here with the seated hamstring curl as well, squeezing when I come back and then coming back up slowly. So hamstring curls, they're a very effective movement if you're doing them right. Now our last exercise in this superset, yes, that says 25 to 30 reps. This was a really cool calf extension machine. It was kind of weird to set up at first, but I enjoyed using it. So here you have, there's no support for your calves. You just put your heels on the bottom and your toes on the moving portion, and it kind of just adjusts to how big your foot is. And so cues for any calf raise is you want to push through the balls of your feet by your big toe and not the outsides of your feet to get the most calf extension. So as you can see, I'm doing about 15 to 20 full reps, and then I'll do 10 to 15 pulse reps, which just means the top half of the movement, and I'm doing them nice and quick and just getting full calf extension and burning out my calves at the end of this movement. So we did that as our last exercise, and that's all. So thank you guys for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you found any of this helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. I don't know. Like I can't tell when people on YouTube are staring at the camera screen. Alright guys, so this is Sarah. Hi. I talked about her in the intro of the video, but we just killed that glute workout, and I know I just posted a glute workout on YouTube, but you know, you can never have enough glute workouts. So right now we're just cooling down and stretching. I really hope you can hear me. and a little loud. Why don't you give YouTube your #1 tip for building up your butt? Building up your butt, your glutes.
Okay, so what's helped the most for me since I started from nothing was starting with my big compound lifts, which are squats and now deadlifts. I do a lot of those because I'm in powerlifting prep, but then I also do a lot of accessories afterwards, like glute kickbacks and hip thrusts especially have been wonders for me. Also eating, because I'm in college and I eat a lot.
Oh my gosh, I miss hip thrusts. I can't. That's like the first thing I'm excited to do.
They're my favorite.
When my back gets better. My #1 tip for building your glutes is to not be afraid of eating caloric surplus. Your muscles are not going to grow if you're not eating enough. And what goes along with that is your muscles aren't going to grow if you're not challenging yourself, with whether that be with food, like challenging yourself to eat more so that you actually grow your muscles, and you are going to gain some fat in that process, but also challenging yourself in the gym. So if you're not like progressively overloading your compounds, like she said, like squat, deadlift, hip thrust, if you're not getting like better at using higher weights for those exercises over time, then your muscles are not adapting to anything new, which means they're not going to progress and they're not going to grow. So you have to be lifting heavier over time, whether that be with just your compounds or your compounds and your accessories. Progressive overload is so important for building any muscle group, but especially such a large muscle group like your glutes. It's pretty crucial. So that is all we have for you today. And I just want to say thank you for watching the video, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked the workout and the commentary, and please comment below any workouts you'd like to see. Thank you for watching. Hit that red button, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up for Sarah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Bye. That will conclude the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the glute workout with Sarah. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found any part of this video helpful or informative, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!